So let's go ahead and do this. If this is my angle, I have the side opposite and the side adjacent. That means I'm going to do TOA. So tangent of theta is going to be 13 over 5.8. But I don't want tangent of theta, I just want theta. So I'm going to do tan inverse to get rid of tangent. So tan inverse. So theta is going to be approximately equal to 66 degrees. Oh, I don't know why I put a decimal in between it. Let me fix that. 66 degrees. So it was 66.95, and so 65.9495, I think it was. Let me look at Desmos. So I'll tell you exactly what it was. Here's 65.955. So in order to round it to one decimal place, I'm going to look at the second decimal place, which is a 5, which means the 9 gets rounded up to a 10, which means it gets rounded up to 66. So I hope you guys understand that. That's how the rounding works on that one. So the next one, I'm looking at angle A, and I have the side opposite, and I have the hypotenuse, which means that is sine. So sine of theta equals 4 over 12. And I don't want sine of theta. I want just theta. So how do I get rid of sine? I do sine inverse. Sine inverse. So theta is approximately equal to 19.5 degrees. And these are degrees because it's because they're angles, so make sure that when you can, I know our chat box doesn't allow us to, you'd have to type in degrees, but make sure that you know that it's degrees. And then the next one, I have this angle that I'm talking about, and again I have the side opposite and I have this side adjacent, so that's tangent. So it gives me tangent of 23 equals 15.2 over x, make a fraction. So I'm going to cross multiply, and I get x tangent of 23 equals 15.2. Divide by tangent of 23. And x is approximately going to be equal to 35.8. And then the last one, here's my angle. And I have the side opposite again and the hypotenuse. So that is sine. So I have sine of 66 equals 4 over x. Cross multiply. And I get, what do I get? X sine, Tony. X sine of 66 equals 4. Divide by sine of 66. So x is approximately going to be equal to 4.4. Okay? Questions? Okay, awesome. Okay, so we're going to start 3.2 today. I just have to figure out how I want to say this. Sorry, you guys. It is not the easiest thing in the world to do. I'm not going to lie to you. This is one of the hardest trig things we're going to do today. This one and 3.3 are probably some of the hardest trig things we're going to do. And it's not that it's hard, it's just that it's long, I think. Sometimes it's longer and people get confused. So I kind of wrote it out a little bit in when to know when you're going to use it. So hopefully this will help it a little bit. but this is called law of sines, which means I'm going to use sine almost exclusively to solve for almost everything. So I'm just using basically sine to do everything. So the rule says I can do, the law of sine says I can write it, well, I can write it either way. There's two different ways I can write it. I can write it as little a, which is side A over sine of A, equals side B over sine of angle B, equals side C over sine of angle C. Or I can write it as the reciprocal of that. So I could write it opposite. It doesn't matter. Choose one that you like and use that one. And I don't, some people teach both ways and say, okay, for this situation, I'm going to use this one. And for this situation, I'm going to use this one. I just say choose the one that you like the best and use that one. It doesn't matter. Just use that one. And then really what it is, it's a fraction. I'm really setting up a fraction equaling a fraction. So I only need two of these. I only need two. I only need two out of the three, okay? So I either need to know A and B or B and C, but I only need two out of the three to make a ratio. And then I'm going to cross multiply and solve, okay? So in order to use law of sines, this is what I need to know. I need to know two angles and the side opposite of one of those angles, or two sides and an angle opposite one of the sides, okay? So I have to know one set, which mean what that means if that I need to know one set. I need to know either the A's or both B's or both C's. I have to know one complete set in order to use law of sine. Okay, I have to know A's, B's, or C's, one complete set. Okay, and then I'm just going to set up proportions, cross multiply, and divide, and that's it. Okay? Confusing, right? I know. We're gonna show you how to do it now. Me. Okay, so I'm gonna try and have that up here at the same time I have the problem. So it says solve triangle A, B, and C. I am gonna draw my triangle. I know it. Oh, just so you guys know, these are not right triangles. So once I start using law of sine, not a right triangle anymore. If it's a right triangle, I'm going to use my SOHCAHTOA. Although, just so you know, I can use law of sine on a right triangle. It does work. So if you decide you like law of sine better, which I have seen that happen. I have had people say, oh, I like this so much better. And they've just solved everything using law of sine after they've learned this. That's fine also. Whichever you feel more comfortable with is what you should use, okay? So, but just know, if I don't have a right triangle, I have to use law of sine or law of cosine, which we're going to learn when we come back from break. So, draw a triangle, and it doesn't have to be perfect, okay? So here's A, B, and C, and then I'm going to draw in all my little pieces so I kind of know what it is. So angle A is 36 degrees. Angle B is 48 degrees, and side A is 8. And then I have side B and side C. Side B is opposite angle B, side C is opposite angle C. Sorry, I lost track of what I was saying for a minute. And when it says solve the triangle, we kind of talked about this before when we were doing right triangle trig. If it says solve the triangle, it means find all of the angles and all of the sides. So I'm just going to kind of come over here and say angle A, angle B, angle C, side A, side B, and side C, and then fill in whatever information I have. So this is 36, 48, and 8, and now I know what I have to find. I know what I have, and I know what I have to find. Okay? So let's start with the easy one. I have two out of the three angles of a triangle. I can find the third one because all my angles add up to be 180 degrees in a triangle, correct? All three angles add up to be 180 degrees. So I can find I can find angle C by saying angle C is going to equal 180 minus 36 minus 48. And then I'm just going to put that in my calculator. 180 minus 36 minus 48. Oops. 48 is 96. So angle C is 96 degrees. Okay? Now, I know if you look at my triangle, it's not correct. But my triangle is just for me to kind of give me a visual reference, kind of to see what it looks like. Okay? So I know what I'm missing and what I need to find. So that's why I'm not worried about it not being exactly looking right. Okay? So now I need to find B and C. Side B, side C. And I'm going to use my law of sine. So I have, I might as well just find side B first. So I'm going to say sine of 36, and I kind of like my sine on top. That's just my preference. I choose to use this one. You can choose to use the other side. It doesn't matter. Sine of 36 over 8. So those are the two sides I know. I know my A's. I have those ones done. I have both A terms. So I'm going to use those ones for sure. And then that is going to equal, if I'm looking for B, I'm going to say sine of 48 over B. Okay? So I'm looking for B right now. Now I'm just going to cross multiply and divide. So cross multiply, and I get B, oh, so sorry. B sine of 36 equals 8 sine of 48. Is everyone okay so far? Any questions? Okay. And Tony. Okay. So then I still need to solve for B. So what do I do to get B by itself? Well, I divide by sine of 36, and I divide by sine of 36, and then I get B is approximately equal to. And please remember, if you're using Desmos, to make sure that you're in degree mode, right? Or else you're going to get the wrong answer. So make sure that we're in degree mode. And then I'm going to do 8. Well, I'm going to put parentheses in first. And then I'm going to do 8 times sine of 48, parenthesis, and then divided by sine of 36, close my parenthesis. And I should get, it says 10.1145079. I'm just going to round to 1 decimal point, so I get 10.1. So B is 10.1. Okay? Now I'm going to do the same thing for C. So I have sine of 36. I should have written a little smaller. Sine of 36 over 8. So I'm using my A terms again. Equals sine of 96 over C. Okay? Then I'm going to cross multiply. My visual effects. So I get C sine of 36 equals 8 sine of 96. Divide by sine of 36. And I get C is approximately equal to, and I'm going to put it into my calculator again. Oops, close that one. So I get parenthesis 8 times the sine of 96, close my parenthesis, divided by sine of 36. And I get 13.53, so it should be 13.5. Questions? See, it's not that hard, it's just long. Just want to say this again, it's just long. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the next. You can see, oops, sorry. You can see page. Sorry that we don't have the rule anymore, but it's still the same. So I'm going to go ahead and do this next one again, and then you guys are going to do the one after that, okay? So I'm going to draw my triangle again. So M, P, and Q. And I know that M is 22 inches. And Q is 12 inches. And measure of angle M is 42 degrees. Okay? So I've got angle M, angle P, angle Q. Side M, makes me sure I give myself some room to write. Side M, side P, and side Q. So M is 42, M is 22, Q is 12. Okay, so I'm going to start out with trying to find angle Q, because that's the only other piece that I have. I don't have anything from P yet, so I'm going to start out with angle Q. So I have sine of 42 over 22 equals sine of Q all over 12. So cross multiply, and I get 22. Sorry. I get, oh my Lanta, you guys. 22 sine of Q equals 12 sine of 42. Divide by 22. So I get sine of Q is going to equal 12 sine of 42 divided by 22. But I don't want sine of Q, I want Q. So I'm going to do the inverse sine. So Q is approximately going to be equal to this big ugly number. Not really, but let's see. Sine inverse. And then I'm going to do another parenthesis of 12 times sine of 42 parenthesis divided by, nope, that messed up. I did something wrong. Okay, let's try this again. 12 sine of 42. It's kind of why I like Desmos, because it shows me when I mess up. Oh, other parenthesis, divided by, there we go. Divided by 22. Okay, so that's approximately equal to 21.4. Okay, now I have two of my three angles. If I have two of my three angles, I can find the other one. So angle P is going to equal 180 minus 42 minus 21.4 degrees. Degrees, I forgot that. Which equals 180 minus 42 minus 21.4. Oh, that's not a 21. 21.4. 116.6. Okay? Question so far? Okay. Now I'm going to find side Q. Side P. Side Q. Okay. I can't use the Pythagorean theorem because this is not a right triangle. So I can't use the Pythagorean theorem. So I have to use law of sine. So I've got sine of 42 over 22 equals sine of 116.6 all over P. Cross multiply. So I do want to pause for a second. Sorry. I know I rounded this angle, and I try not, so usually why I'm not multiplying and find out what sine of 42 is and all that, and then dividing, is because when you find out what sine of 42 is, you round it. It's some big number, and then you have to round it, and then you divide by 22 and you round again, and you multiply by this and you round again, and then you just start rounding and rounding, and your number gets too far off. So I just kind of leave it to the last figure, like that I didn't put it in my calculator until I got all the way down here, right? I didn't put it in my calculator until I got it all the way down here. So I only rounded one time, okay? So that's the best way to do it. Unfortunately, on this problem, part of my answer is already rounded, so it's already been rounded once. There's no way I could get around that, and sometimes you can't. So my angle's already been rounded, and I have to deal with it, okay? So we just deal with it. So then I get P sine of 42 equals 22 sine of 116.6. Divide by sine of 42. So P is approximately going to be equal to parenthesis 22 sine of 116.6 parenthesis divide by sine of 42. So that is 29.4. And that's it. Okay? So now I want you to try number 3. Number 3 is just like number 2. So I want you to try number 3 and see how you guys do. I'm going to draw my picture. Maybe if I have a pen, I'm going to draw my picture. So X, Y, and Z, and 85 degrees, 25, and Z is 15. So I have angle X, so angle Y is 85, side Y is 25, and side Z is 15. Okay, so I guess I'm going to find angle Z first. So I'm going to do sine of 85 over 25 equals sine of Z over 15. Cross multiply, and I get 15. I need to write it the other way. Sorry. Just for me, for my purposes, not for any other reason. I need to do 25 sine of Z equals 15 sine of 85. Divide by 25. So I've got sine of Z equals 15 sine of 85 divided by 25. But I don't want sine of Z, I want Z. So I'm going to do sine inverse. So when I put this, let me make sure I put it into my calculator correctly. And let me make sure it looks the same. Let's see. 15 sine of 85 divided by 25. Yep. Okay, so I got Z is approximately equal to 36.7 degrees. Okay, and then I subtract that. Then to find x, I subtract those two from 180, and I got 58.7 degrees. Okay, and now I'm going to find x, so I'm going to do sine of 85 over 25 equals sine of 58.7 over x. Cross multiply, and I get x sine of 85 equals 25 sine of 58.7, all divided by sine of 85. So x is approximately equal to, let's see, 25 sine of 58.7, not 0.3. 0.7 equals 21.4. Okay, is there any questions on anything that I did? Okay. So on the next one, they just want me to find one side. That's all. I don't have to solve for everything. I just need to find, what do I need to find? I need to find AC. So this is what they need me to find. So remember my rule. I need to know an angle and the side opposite that angle. Well, I only know this, let me change the color. I only know this side, which means I need to know this angle. Can I find that angle is my question to you guys. Can I find out what that angle measures? Yes or no? Or can someone tell me what the measure of that angle is? Anybody? Can anybody tell me what the measure of this angle is? The one that I have highlighted. Yes, Jacqueline, that is correct. It is 40 degrees. Now the question becomes, is there anybody in here who does not know why it's 40 degrees?
The real question is, do you know why it's 40 degrees?
I do know why it's 40 degrees, Marco. Do you know why it's 40 degrees?
Nah.
No? Okay. So what do the three angles in a triangle add up to be?
This way. Let me see real quick. The degrees, right? 130. Oh shoot.
180.
154.
No, all
180
three
goes.
angles add up to be, all three angles in a triangle, no matter what triangle it is, what size it is, should add up to be 180 degrees, okay? So if I know two of the three angles, I should be able to find the third one by doing, if I do 180, right, minus 118 minus 22, and I just take the two angles away from 180, that means I get left with 40 degrees. That's all. Does that help? Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I know two of the three angles, I know the third one. That's all. Because I'm just subtracting. Okay?
Thank you.
By the way, you made my mother laugh when you said, do you know how to find it? And I was like, yes, I do. So now I know, remember the rule said I need to know an angle and the side opposite. So now I know an angle, right? I know this angle and the side opposite. So I can say sine of 40 over 24. And then they want me to find this side, and I know this angle. So now I can use that part of the sine of law of sines that says sine of, it doesn't matter, 22 over x, right? So now I have my law of sine set up. Now I can just cross multiply and solve. So I'm going to cross multiply. And I get x sine of 40 equals 24 sine of 22. Okay? And then I want to get x by itself, and that's times. It's x times sine of 40. So to undo times, I divide. And I'm just going to put this whole thing right into my calculator. Into Desmos, right? So I'm going to put it into Desmos. And how I'm going to put it into Desmos, I'm going to show you in Desmos. And probably in most of your calculators, you're going to put it the same way, by the way. I'm going to put it in parentheses. It'll be 24 sine of 22, parenthesis, and then it'll be sine of, and that's how it should look when you put it into Desmos, okay? 24, oh, I forgot to put parentheses around it. Parenthesis 24, oh, okay. Having a rough day. Parenthesis 24, function, sine, 22, parenthesis, divide by sine of 4, oh, what, come on, went up there, 40. So x is approximately going to be equal to, it's 13.9868. Well, no, I'm going to round, if I rounded here, it would round. So it approximately is equal to 14. Okay? They all round up. So I'm only rounding to this decimal place, actually. I'm only rounding to 1 unless it tells me to go somewhere else. So that 8 means that 9 goes to a 0, which means that goes to a 4. 14. Okay. So, oops. Last problem on the page wants you to find AB. I'm going to let you guys do this. You have all the information you need. I'm just going to highlight it really quick for you. So I have this angle, and I need to find this side. And I have this angle, and I know this side. So you should be able to. So I have all the information I need. And so I'm going to say sine of 44 over 7, right? Sine this angle over this side equals this angle over this side. Sine of 53 over x. Cross multiply. And I get x sine of 44 equals 7 sine of 53. And then I'm going to divide by sine of 44. So x is going to equal, I think it's 8.04, approximately equal 8.04, which is, if I'm going to round to 1 decimal place, would be 8.0. Okay? At least I'm pretty sure. Let me look again. Yeah. Sine of 54. Okay. So, yep. Good, Jess. Yes. Questions? Okay. Back. How do I find the third angle? Oops. How do I find it?
You subtract them from 180.
Very, very good. Yep, I'm going to subtract them. I think we have like, I don't know, 5 or 6 more problems to do. And we're still doing exactly the same thing. Okay? We're just doing law signs over and over and over again. So this says find BC. So I want to find this side. So I have this side and this angle. Okay, that's great. I have this side and this angle. But what else do I need? I have this side. So if I have this side, which angle do I have? Which angle do I need? Angle C or angle B? Just type that in there for me. Which angle? Yeah, good, Jess. I need angle B. Very good. You had it in there before I asked the question. So what does angle B measure? Marco, can we find angle B? I'm going to pick on him.
You're telling me?
Yeah, I'm asking you. Can you find angle B?
I can't find it right now.
How come? Marco, is it a triangle?
Yeah.
How many angles do I know?
2.
Good. How do I find the third one? If I know 2 angles, how do I find the third one? We just talked about it, remember? What am I going to do? How do I find the third one? We'll go 180. So if I know 2 out of the 3, what am I going to do? Subtract them from 180. So I'm going to subtract 51 and subtract 39. I'm going to get some even number. That's all I know. 180 minus 51 minus 39. 90 degrees. Woo, it's a 90-degree angle. 90 degrees. Okay? So now I have my 2 sides, right? I have my angle, so I can use my law of sines. So I'm going to say sine of 90 over 27 equals sine of 39 over x. Then we're going to cross multiply. And I get x sine of 90 equals 27 times sine of 39. And then I want x by itself, and it's x times sine of 90. So the opposite of times is divide. So x is approximately going to be equal to... let's see, what is it approximately going to be equal to? 27 sine of 39, parenthesis, divided by sine of 90. 16.99, which rounds to 17. questions. If you guys are not understanding what's going on, you better be asking questions, man. No one can see your question in the chat box. I don't have to read your name aloud. Just ask a question. Thank you for those of you who are putting answers in the chat box, whether they be right or wrong or whatever, even though sometimes I can't figure out what you're doing because I can't see your work, but most of the time I can kind of figure it out. Okay, so 7 says, now instead of finding, we're going to find an angle, which we can do with this too. We've done that before. So what I'd like you to do is try and find, So the question was, how do I know how to place the numbers in the right space? So I know that the formula says A, B, and C, but it doesn't matter if it's A, B, and C. So the formula that I'm using, right, for sine is sine of A over little a equals sine of big B over little b, which equals sine of big C over little c, right? So the ones on top, the big A, everything that goes with sine are the angles. Anything that goes with sine are the angles or the big letters. So those ones. And the little letters are the sides. So these are the angles. And these, are the sides. Okay? Little letters are the sides, big letters are the angles. Okay? So how do I know which ones to choose? It doesn't really matter because all it is what I need to, this is how I kind of think of it. The sine of an angle over a side equals the sine of an angle over the side. Okay, it's an angle, so it's the side of an angle. So you don't have to worry about which letters are which. Okay, did that help a little bit? If you're worried about, let me see if that's the right answer. Not quite. So I just have to have matching angle, one matching angle and one matching side, and that's why I kind of color coded it. And how do I know which angle and side go together? Well, they're opposites or are across the triangle from each other. So I could draw opposite sides here. Here would be opposite sides here. Angle and the side opposite of it. I don't know if that helped at all. So that means that this equation would be sine of 88 over 26 equals sine of C, big C, because that's what we're looking for, over 21. Did that help you with knowing where to put the numbers at now? And then we cross multiply, and then I'm going to go into Desmos and show you how, because I mean I've been talking about it, but I don't know if talking about it and seeing it are two different things. So we've got 21. Oh, did I put the wrong? Oh, it's not 21. Oh no, I did. I think I did it right. Okay, 21 sine of 88 equals 26 sine of C. Divide by 26. So sine of C is going to equal 21 sine of 88 divided by 26. And sine inverse of 21 sine of 88 divided by 26. Okay, so I'm going to pop onto, I think I have Desmos up here. I do. Okay, great. So I'm going to pop onto Desmos here. And let's look at it. So this is how I would put it in. Oops, I need to hide you guys. So if I was putting this into Desmos, I would do sine inverse, okay? And then parenthesis, and I probably need to see what I'm putting in here. 21 sine of 88, and then parenthesis, parenthesis, because I want to close off the 88 for the sign, and then I want to close off this parenthesis, and then divided by 26. And I'm just going to say this. If it does not look like your equation that you have written down in Desmos, then you've done something wrong in Desmos. It should look just like the equation you've written down in written down on your paper. So if in Desmos it does not look like that equation, then you've done something wrong in Desmos. You've entered it incorrectly. So it's 53.8. So, sorry, I need to go back to here. Okay, so it was, what was it approximately? So C, angle C is approximately, sorry, I forgot what it was, 53.8. Okay? I hope that helped a little bit better. Okay, let's look at number 8. And number 8 has us do something a little bit more, but let's read it. Mrs. Jones goes on a road trip from town A to town B to town C and back to town A, as shown in the following diagram. All roads are straight. How long is the trip to the nearest mile? So she wants to know how long the whole trip is, which means I need to find, yep, okay, which means eventually, out of all this whole thing, I need to eventually find out what the length of this road is. That's what I'm looking for. But in order to find that length, I need to find this angle. And in order to find that angle, I need to find this angle, because this is the only side they've given me, other than these two, which go together. Okay, so I have to do a little bit of math here. So I have my angle, which goes with the sine. So I've got sine of 63 goes over my side, which is 46. And that's going to equal, let's call this side, well, we're going to call this, I called that X. Let's just call this A and B. Okay. So we've got sine of A over 34. Cross multiply. So 46 sine of A equals 34 sine of 63 divided by 46. So sine of A equals that. So A is going to equal sine inverse of 34 sine of 63 divided by 46. Sorry, I was running out of room, so I used a shortcut. Let's see, sine inverse, parenthesis, 34 sine 63 divided by 46, 41.2. 41.2. That means 180 minus 63 minus 41.2 is 75.8. So now there's the angle that I need to solve for this side, which is what I'm looking for. So I've got sine of 60. I'm going to use this one over again. Sine of 63 over 46 equals sine of 75.8 all over x. Cross multiply x sine of 63 equals 46 sine of 75.8 divide by sine of 63, and x is approximately going to be equal to, and this to the nearest mile, so I'm going to round this to a whole number. 46 sine, why are you doing that? 75.8. Divided by sine 60. Oh, what the heck? 50. So this is 50. Okay. And then really the story problem asks how how long is the trip? So you would add all 3 miles together and get the difference. But I just want to make sure that you guys can find this. Okay. So you guys are going to do this next one. The diagram below shows part of a logo design. There is one known angle of 42 degrees. Calculate the measures of the other 2 angles. So you need to find this angle, and you're given this side. And then you need to find this angle, but you'll probably need, you actually won't need that side. You'll just need to find that angle. So let me subtract that. Because once you find this angle right here, once you find this angle right here, you'll be able to find the other angle. And then you've got this side and this angle and that side. Go. Guys, since we're running out of time today, I'm going to go ahead and do this problem and finish it out, and then we'll talk about what's going to happen. So we'll probably finish this tomorrow, this lesson tomorrow. So I've got sine of 142 over 4.5 equals sine of, we'll just call this x and we'll call this y, sine of x over 3. Cross multiply, and I've got 4.5 sine of x equals 3 sine of 142 divide by 4.5. So sine of x is going to equal, I'm going to so run out of room. Sine of x is going to equal 3 sine of 142 divided by 4.5. And then sine inverse x is approximately going to be equal to sine inverse of 3 sine, come on, 3 sine of 142 divided by 4.5. So that's 24.2 degrees. So x is 24.2 degrees. And then 180 minus 142 minus 24.8, 24.2, 13.8 degrees. Okay, so there's how we find that. So